A city of nearly 4 million people receives an order, 50 litres per person per day. One household figure makes that number real. Filling a bath uses around 200 litres, and a toilet cistern spends 15 with every flush. The city prepared for what it called Day Zero, the date when taps would close and people would collect 25 litres a day at guarded distribution points. That day never came, but only just. The image travelled the world. The question holding this video together is not when it will rain again. It is another. Who runs out of water first, and why is that almost never decided by the climate? Follow the journey of water to understand it. It begins in a catchment, gathers in a reservoir or an aquifer, travels along a main, passes through a treatment plant and enters a distribution network reaching your tap. There are losses at every stage. Evaporation takes part of the reservoir, especially in heat and wind. The network takes another enormous share. Cape Town itself estimates it loses close to a quarter of its water to leaks and unaccounted consumption. Hold on to that. A city's first water reserve does not sit in the mountains, it sits buried under its own streets, and it is usually the cheapest one to recover. The second point is a planning one, and it is the one almost never debated. Water demand does not fall from the sky, it is designed. Dispersed growth of detached houses with gardens and pools multiplies consumption per inhabitant compared with compact apartment fabric. A golf course or a lawn park in a dry climate drinks like a whole neighborhood. And tourism concentrates its demand peak exactly in the months of lowest reserves. What matters is the order of decisions. The plan approves growth first and asks where the water will come from afterwards. The resource is treated as a guaranteed supply rather than a physical limit. The third point is distributive, and it is the most uncomfortable. A study of the Cape Town crisis estimated sharply different consumption by social group. Elite households could exceed 2,000 litres a day per home. Low-income households sat at roughly 178 litres. Informal settlements barely reached 41. The authors noted that a minority of around 14% of the population used about half of the drinking water. When a general restriction arrives, the household using 2,000 litres trims luxuries. The household using 41 has nothing to trim because it was already living its own Day Zero. Spain has already run the dress rehearsal, and it is well documented. During the last severe drought, reserves in Catalonia's internal basins fell to a historic low near 14%, and one emblematic reservoir dropped to around 5% of capacity. An emergency was declared in the system supplying metropolitan Barcelona. The measures were concrete: a cap of 210 litres per inhabitant per day in affected municipalities, a ban on filling private pools, garden irrigation permitted only with reclaimed water. Some towns had to be supplied by tanker truck. All of that happened in a European country with modern infrastructure. And here comes the most dangerous effect, which is psychological and political. When the rain returns and reservoirs recover, the alarm switches off. Consumption goes back to earlier levels, and sometimes beyond them, because abundance relaxes vigilance and encourages new approvals. The record shows each drought cycle is met with a higher baseline demand than the last. This can be read as a problem of collective memory. We manage water by looking at today's level rather than the decade's trend. And the infrastructure that corrects that trajectory, such as network renewal or water reuse, takes years and cannot be inaugurated with an attractive photograph. Now the counter-argument, and it is solid. In volume terms, domestic urban consumption is a minor share of the total. Irrigated agriculture takes the overwhelming majority of water in countries like Spain, and no short shower offsets one badly irrigated hectare. On that reading, blaming gardens and cisterns is a convenient distraction that avoids the real conflict, which lies in the farming model and in irrigation licenses. Supporters at that supply-side solutions exist: desalination, reclaimed water, transfers between basins. Scarcity, they argue, is a technical and financial problem before it is an urban one. It can still be argued that this confuses volume with criticality. Cities do consume a small proportion, but they consume it unpostponably and in concentrated form, competing for the same resource in the same critical month. Urban planning also decides more than how much water is used. It decides where demand will sit, on which network, and at what pumping cost. Desalination carries an energy and environmental price that somebody pays, usually through everyone's bill. The editorial opinion is this: water should be a precondition of planning, not a consequence. Approving development land without proving 30 years of available resource is signing a problem over to the next term of office. Return to the opening question. Who runs out of water first? Not whoever lives furthest from the reservoir, but whoever has least room to adapt. Households with no tank, no well, no money for bottled water, and no voice on the committee deciding exemptions. Drought is meteorological, scarcity is political. So when the next development is announced in your area, the useful question is not how many homes it brings or how many jobs it promises. The useful question is where its water will come from in the worst year of the coming decade, and who will stop receiving it so that tap can stay open.